What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. Oh yeah, guys, so I keep looking at things that I want to do in this mod pack, and a lot of those things still require titanium. So we can make titanium in this pack by doing the rutile or mixing it with whatever the other thing is that we have to do, and yeah, it's just like a big pain. Every time I want to do it, it's like, oh, that requires titanium. We should probably do something else because I don't want to make the titanium. And there really is no good way to get that in this mod pack. Like, it is really a big pain to do it. So I'm currently, I keep telling myself I want to do this and I do it, and then I'm like, I'm not so sure I want to do it. I'm currently in the process of trying to get to the bees that can do titanium. And we're not far at all. So there is titanium combs. Titanium combs come from the impregnable queen or bee or whatever. That comes from resilient and cultivated. Cultivated is pretty easy. That's like the second or the third bee. You go from the high bee to common to cultivated. It's the second bee that you can breed into. So we have plenty of these. But then we need resilient. Resilient comes from robust and industrious. I don't believe we have these yet, but those are some bees that we can get to. Robust comes from tolerant and unwary. That's on the way to get to the other bee. That shiny one we're just seeing over here, the industrious, I think, or it's the imperial, one of the two. Either way, we'll be getting to that one, this unwary one. Tolerant is another bee that we need, and that comes from a rocky bee plus a diligent. Diligent is the third one of the tree. I believe that is when you take a cultivated plus a common, we'll turn into a diligent, right? Anyway, so it's not like super hard to do it. It's kind of hard because we have to get to the top end bees, the imperial and the industrious, one of the two. Anyway, if we get to those bees, those two I was just talking about, the imperial and the industrious, that'll allow us to make more alveary blocks. Yeah, so anyway, I'm kind of in the process of doing this. Like, every time I do, I'm like, do I want to do this or not? Anyway, we're trying to get diligent right now, and it looks like we just got unwary too. So that's one of the bees we did need, and that's one of the bees that's on the path to get to the industrious imperial, one of the two. I don't remember which one's which. So let's take these out. We'll just take a quick look at them. Hopefully, we have some purebreds all up in here. No, that is not a beealizer. That is my quest book. The beealizer's right here. So we have an unwary and a cultivated. Okay, so that's just a half breed. We have a purebred diligent and we have a purebred diligent. Okay, so that's awesome. Over here, I've been collecting our other half breeds. We have a cultivated diligent, and a full bred one right here, a diligent drone as well. So now that we have a few of these purebred diligents, I think we can put this cultivated diligent in with these guys, and we should be able to turn this princess into a full breed diligent. That's what we want. So we're just putting them in here with chocolate frames. We're going to make them die off faster or whatever. That's the idea. So I'll keep my eye on that. We're not going to be spending the entire episode messing with these bees at all. But I just want to show you guys my thought process on that. Yeah, making the titanium in this mod pack is like the worst thing ever. And we can do it. I just don't want to. Is the bees easier? I honestly don't know. To me, it seems like when you can get it automated, you just get those combs in, and you're just making titanium all the time. That's easier. I don't know if we're ever going to need that much titanium, if it's worth the trouble of going through all of the bee stuff. I honestly don't know. There's other things we can get from the bees, which might be useful later on. So, what I wanted to do today, I was kind of wanting to get our blood magic up to snuff. We were working on this a little bit the last time, right? So we got the blood magic going, but we only have tier 2, right? So we need tier 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and so on and so forth. So we can do the other things. I keep failing at flying and landing on things. So we can do other things in this mod. So in order to make the blood runes here, we need to get living rock. You put living rock in the blood altar, that will make a blank slate. Well, in order to get the living rock, we need to put stone by our pure daisies over here. And we've done that before in the past, and that is all well and good. The problem is it's all manual, right? We have to cook the stone. We have to walk over here at the stone. We have to place the stone down. We have to wait a minute. Then we have to mine the stone, or I guess the living rock, and replace the stone, etc., etc. I want to try and automate this process. That seems like a fun thing to do, and it seems like it's pretty easy with Applied Energistics. So I got done making 8 ME formation planes, 8 ME annihilations planes. The idea is the formation plane is going to pop stone right here. So, well, I guess, yeah, in the block above where this one is. And then the annihilation plane will remove those once it's turned into the living rock or living wood, whichever we are doing at the time, right? So that's the idea that I want to do. How we're going to do that, I don't know. It shouldn't be that difficult, right? But I think the very first thing we need to do, let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff. I think we're just going to make it right here, right where this one is. I don't think there's any reason to move it. So we can just go ahead and get some ME glass cable. That's not ME glass cable. Thanks for trying. So we can go ahead and place these around right like this. Yep. And then, I don't know, is annihilation plane better on the bottom or is formation plane better on the bottom? I guess formation plane doesn't really matter, to be honest. All right, so we'll just go ahead and line this out. So we'll have 8 formation planes. Now, the problem is 8 formation planes is all 8 channels on a ME glass cable or on a network without a controller. So I did have to make a ME controller for this. Yeah, because we're going to need 8 of those for the formation, 8 for the annihilation. Yeah, so that is more than what you'd normally be able to have in a ME network without a controller. So anyway, we can go ahead and do this, place those there, and I'll place the ME annihilation planes on top. Not going to be the prettiest thing to look at, but you know, it will be automatic, and that's what I care about. I've never automated this process in this way, so this is going to be pretty interesting for me, regardless. So these guys down here will put down living rock or living wood. These guys up here will break either of those and then put it into a chest. That's the idea. I think we're going to have like an input chest here and an output chest here. Just go ahead and break that. Break that. Okay, so we're going to have, I had 2 chests. Well, I have 3 chests in my inventory now. So we're going to have an input chest, output chest. That's the way that's going to work. So we come over here, we fill this all full of stone or fill it full of wood. It gets placed here. These break it when it's done. Stick it in this chest. That's the idea. Is it going to be that easy to do? I'm not so sure. I think what we're going to do, I think these other ones are just going to go away. Those are for like doing it manually. I think we're beyond the point of doing this manually anymore. So like I said, I think those are just going to go away. So we can go ahead and place these cables all along up here. Right. We don't want them connecting down there. That would be bad unless we're using ME dense cable, which we are not at the moment. In fact, we're going to need is probably some cable inkers, or we could dye the cables different colors. Either way, we have plenty of ink. I keep getting ink sacks all the time from the squid that are around here. So maybe we'll do different colors for now. Let's make some black cable. That should be good enough. Okay, we'll do the black cable on the annihilation plane. Makes sense because those have a black face on them, right? We'll go ahead and pop those off. Like so. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll replace that, redo, change these all out to the black. It might even look better than having the purple cable up here. All right, color cables do connect, by the way, to Fluex, or I guess Fluex connects to any color cable would be the correct way of saying that. So yeah, we're still gonna need cable anchors, or we're gonna need to dye the other cables down below white, which we might do that because that would make sense too. All right, so then we got some white cables. We have some black cables. I think we're all good. So now I got to redo the bottom portion. Let me go ahead and just swap those cables out real quick and we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so here we go. We have the black cables on top. We have white cables on the bottom. They're not connecting to each other, so all the channels should be fine. Alternatively, we could just use an ME dense cable, but we're doing it this way. So the white cables are connected to the ME controller right here. Black cables are connected right there. So that's all we got. I did put an ME interface on the bottom touching the controller as well. And this is where we're going to pipe items in from this chest, our input chest, into the ME system. Okay, so now we got to just go ahead and do some fancy pipe work like this. Fancy, not fancy, something, I don't know. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and connect those up right like that. I know it's very, oh, come on, stop falling down. I really should just go ahead and fill this in, so I stopped doing that. So yeah, the items get piped into this ME interface. This ME interface has nowhere to store items, so it stores them in the formation plane, right? Then we're also going to have, I think, a storage bus on this chest right here. So we'll go ahead and grab this storage bus right like so, and this will be set to living rock, and living wood. So I think, can you do that here? No, I won't let you do it like that. Sometimes you can take items from NEI, click drag, and then just place the ghost items here. They're not real items. I think I've shown this to you guys before. But yeah, sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. Not really sure why you can and why you can't on certain things. Anyway, we can fix that. All we got to do is just actually get the items in our inventory. Let's come over here to our terminal. So living rock down to the last 2, living wood down to the last 5. We really need this setup. Yeah, it's gonna be so good just putting these things together, or just filling that chest up, walking away, coming back, and having a lot of that stuff. It'll definitely be a lot nicer. Okay, so if I could stop falling and actually land on this thing, that would be great. Okay, so this storage bus is going to contain that and that, right? Those are the only things that are going to be allowed over there. Okay, so we have that set, so we just need to connect ME cables to this, to a face of the controller. Or I guess we could connect it right down here to this interface, since that is its own little section. So what color cables do we use that? I guess we'll use black, so they won't connect to these white ones. Like so. Okay. So yeah, the interface is connected to the control on the bottom side, and the interface can allow up to 8 channels through it. Well, I guess 7 more channels besides itself. So we should be able to connect it just fine right like that. Okay, I think everything should be set up for what we need to do here. The last part of this puzzle, yeah, we need power over here. So we have a cable right here, so we can go ahead and run more ME cable from here over here. We just go ahead and start laying out some of this stuff, get it connected up like we do. Whoops, 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 whoops. Almost done. Boom, did it. Let's get rid of this little fella. Okay, oh, I'm gonna fall. Yeah, I need to sit down. Unfortunately, you can't fly forever with our tiara. I wish there was a way you could. I think it said that there's an item, some kind of a bowel or whatever, that will allow us to do that in the future. Definitely looking forward to that. So we can't connect one controller to a network that has another controller, right? So we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is use quartz fiber, boop, right like that. And then we're going to connect this up, and that's only going to allow power through. So this subsystem, the sub network, I guess it's a standalone network, just being powered by main network, will be powered by our main network. So that's the way that's going to work. So we don't need to power it ourselves. That's a problem. So we need to put this fiber here and here. There we go. Now it should connect up and it won't mess up our main network. We're only sending power through this cable. So this thing should power up here in just a second, I do believe. Unless there's some other problem with this. I don't know. I think I might have just knocked our system offline by connecting it that first time. Or our main system might be in some kind of a unloaded chunk situation. I'm not sure what's going on. This thing should be lit up though. Let's go over and check our items, make sure that this is working. It is. Okay, so I'm not sure why we're not getting power over here. It might just take a minute for it to power up. No, we're still not powered here. There is something else that I have done incorrectly. There might be a cable missing somewhere. There is totally a cable missing somewhere. There it goes. Okay, so now we have power over here. This whole thing should work. As soon as I put stone or wood into our input chest, it should just work, and it won't break the blocks until after they've turned into either the living wood or the living rock that we have specified for the storage bus for this chest. So let's try it out. I hope this is gonna work. I've never done this before. It seems like a pretty straightforward thing to do. So let's grab some, I guess, some stone. We're gonna need that for our blood. I guess our blank slates for the blood runes for our blood altar, right? So let's see if we put in this chest, our input one. Oh, you know what? We didn't use the configurator. I had that on my hotbar. I had it there for a reason. We need to click that. There we go. That sounds like it placed all the stone where it should be. Yeah, I didn't set it so the pipe was extracting from this chest into the interface. Now it should be working. Okay, so after a minute, those should convert into the living rock. And when it converts into the living rock, the Annihilation's planes will have a place to store it, and it'll store it in the chest. So I guess we'll just skip forward and make sure that works. That was pretty awesome looking. So it does work. So we should have 8 living rock in here. So that's just going to go ahead and go through and turn all the stone that we have given it into living rock. It'll all end up right here in this chest. That is pretty awesome. So yeah, like I said, we're going to need a lot of that living rock so we can make the blank slates. We can turn the blank slates into blood runes. And then we can start expanding out our blood altar to the next tiers. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and wait a little bit for this to do its thing, and we'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so here we are over at the blood altar. I was trying a few different ways to try and automate this thing. So to insert items into our blood altar, I was kind of hoping that these advanced logistical transporters would only send in one item and then not be able to do anything else. Doesn't work that way. These will send in 16 items. Like if you put in like, I don't know, 21, it'll put in the first 16 because they can only do 16 at a time, and then I'll suck in the rest of them. So yeah, all of those items will end up going to the blood altar, and then you have to wait however many items times however long it takes per item before they finish up as a stack. So yeah, it takes a minute. So I was looking at ways to pull items out of the blood altar. Yeah. So we're using an emerald transport pipe from Buildcraft because it does have a filter and you can whitelist certain items or blacklist, whichever way you want to go about it. Probably whitelisting is what you want. So if you want to do white blank slates, you can stick that in here and it'll only pull out blank slates or imbued or demonic or whatever you want to do. There is a basic gate on here that I was kind of messing around with. What you can do is just say, I guess, you know, redstone signal off, which is always going to, unless you put a redstone signal here, this is always going to be true. So this red line turns on. And you say energy pulsar, so that's just always going to be trying to pump items out of the altar, but only pump out items that are on the white list, right? So it'll only pump out our blank slates. So that's kind of cool. So that's kind of thinking, you know, in other mod packs, I've hooked up computer craft computers to these blood altars to read how much blood is in them, so I know when to click the thing and fill it up, right? Well, unfortunately, this mod pack does not have computer craft, so I can't do that. So I was looking at alternate methods of trying to do this. So we have comparators. Vanilla comparator does not read a signal from the blood altar, unfortunately. I was hoping this would emit a redstone signal, telling us, you know, 0 or 1 if it's like really low, or 15 if it's all the way full. Doesn't emit any signal at all. So that's not going to work for us. So now I was looking at this basic gate a moment ago. You saw when I first looked at this, I was just kind of scrolling through the different options we had here. You can send a signal if an item is actually going through the pipe at the time, or if there's space in this inventory that's connected to. Anyway, so I was kind of looking at all of this stuff, and so I was looking, I saw a space for fluid, and it's like tank full, and I noticed that goes off. Then I saw a tank empty, that's off. Fluid in tank is on, so it can recognize that there is fluid in this tank. Interesting. Contains less than 75%, it does. Contains less than 50%, it doesn't. Cool. So what we can do is kind of use those gates to emit a redstone signal to alert me, hey, you need to right click your thing, right? So we can do that, I think. It's not the best thing in the world, but it will let me know that I don't have to click it when it's almost full, right? If it's less than 75%, I should be able to click it once. Probably will do if it's less than 50%, just so we have a little bit of wiggle room, I think is the way we want to do that. So we're probably going to want a structure pipe. Structure pipe is just a pipe. It doesn't transport items at all. All it does is just attach to things like a regular pipe would. I guess we could just use a regular pipe too, but structure pipes are probably the best for this application. We're going to need a gate. Yeah, we already got gates available. I don't think we need anything special. We don't need the pulsating chipset on there. By the way, if you don't know, the gate plus one of these pulsating chipsets is all you got to do. Put those in an integration table, and that'll make the Autarkic gate, or I guess the gate with the Autarkic pulsar addition. It doesn't take so long for that to happen. It doesn't take too much RF. Yep, so we can do that, and it's done, right? Easy. Unfortunately, I don't think this integration table ejects into an inventory next to it, so this item will always stay here, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So we have this stuff happening here. Those lasers are different colors. I think those are the ones that went over to this table. Now they came back over here. I have this doing a bunch of gold chipsets. I've done some quartz just so we can get processors from Applied Energistics going a little bit easier later on when we need those. I had to make formation and annihilation cores earlier, and yeah, those required the gold chipsets. So anyway, I think we should be able to do something like attaching this pipe here. Does that not attach to this? Oh, well, hold on. It might still work. It might just not look like it's attached. Does this give us the fluid? Space for fluid? That's right. Tank's full, tank's empty. Fluid in tank contains less than... Interesting. It's not saying if it contains less than 75%. And I think this one was, right? Let me just go back. No, okay, so this is full enough where it just is not emitting. Okay, so I think this is right. So anyway, we click back on here. We can say less than 50%. We're going to emit a redstone signal. That's what we want to do. So when this thing empties out, this thing will read, hey, it's less than 50% and then emit a redstone signal. Now we just need to get a way for this thing to, put a light on or something. I guess what is that, redstone lamp? That could work quite nicely right there. It's a full block. It emits a light with a redstone signal. Let's go ahead and make a redstone lamp. I haven't made one of those in a long time. I don't even remember what the recipe is for one of these things. Easy. Okay, there we go. Redstone lamp, done. Okay, so we should be able to stick that on there. So the next step is we should just be able to put this right in here. Then I'll send those over. Those will start cooking up. Put that guy right there. When that light turns on, we know, hey, our blood, or I guess the LP in the blood altar has gone down below 50%. Time to click our razor, right? And I am using this thing. I said before, I don't remember if this was using any health. It does take 2 hearts, and it makes over 2 buckets worth of LP in the altar, I think is how that was working. Either way, this is like a really, really good item. It helps out, especially in mod packs where you don't have a lot of ways to like instantly restore your health. You don't have like health pads or anything like that. So I'm just hoping that this is going to work. There goes, redstone light turned on, so we are less than 50%. I click this, lights off. That's what we're looking for. That's pretty cool. So if I'm not like fully paying attention to how much LP is in there, all I gotta do is look away. The light will catch my attention, right click, good to go. I like it. I like it. So this is working out pretty well. I think the next step that we need to do is look at upgrading our altar to the next tier, right? So we're going to do that with some blood runes. But I think the first thing we should do is upgrade a few of these with self-sacrifice. The rune of self-sacrifice, these right here are what we use to upgrade it. These work in place of the blood runes themselves. But what these also do is increase the amount of LP that goes into our altar every time we right-click something that puts LP in there. So if we use self-sacrifice and we do like 5 of these, that'll definitely increase the amount that we're doing. We have to click less and less every time. That's awesome. So I think we're going to go ahead and make like 5 or 10 of self-sacrifice. I'm not sure how much 5 are going to do. So I guess we could check that out first. I just don't want to have to make blood runes and then not use those, right? Well, we ended up getting a full stack of these blank slates. These cost 2 reinforced slates each, plus some stone and some glowstone, all of which is pretty easy. You do need an apprentice blood orb, which I'm not sure if we made one yet or not. Yeah, right there. Apprentice blood orb. That is a tier 2 blood orb. I don't remember if we made one of those or not. I kind of feel like we haven't. I feel like we haven't because I think we just set up our altar to be tier 2 just the other day, right? Orb. Yeah, we only had the first one. Let's go ahead and make the second one. So we just need an emerald. Yeah, we need the emerald so we can do the tier 2 blood orb crafting. Once we have that done, I think, like I said, we'll probably do like 5 or 10 self-sacrifice. I'll make the rest the regular blood runes. And the regular blood runes are blank slates, an orb, and then some stone. I think you can just use the apprentice, or I thought maybe the first tier. Maybe you can only use an apprentice. Okay, well, that's fine. Either way, we'll go ahead and get that done. So I'll go ahead and cook up a few of these. I might just do them all self-sacrifice, right? So if we do that, we can make 32 of those. We need 5, 10, 15, 20 to do the tier 3. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this put in here. Now, I didn't see if we can drag into this filter. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. No, it won't let us do it there. So we can just go ahead and do one of those right like so. We can go ahead and put that right there. I wanted to blacklist that. Whoops. I did the exact opposite of what I want to do. I guess we take that filter off and that'll just stay in here. All right, well, I'll let that cook up. We'll do that. I'll make the runes. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. Well, I went ahead and I made all of the rune of self-sacrifice. That actually wasn't so bad to do. We just needed like 40 of those blank slates. Yeah, and the recipe is pretty easy. I did go ahead and put in the glowstone and just some pillars around the corners. So this altar should now be a tier 3. If we click with our divination sigil right on the altar, yeah, you can see altar's current tier 3. Perfect. That's what we need. So now that we got this all set up, I'm kind of curious to see how much blood we can put in there by clicking our razor thing. Let's go ahead and put in the tier 3 orb, or I guess the block to turn into the tier 3 orb. So we have that set to blacklist on gold right now. So we're less than 50%. We're slurping out all of the life essence in there. I'm curious to see, though, with 20 of these self-sacrifice, what one click on this thing is going to do. Is it fill it all the way up? Does it fill it like halfway? So 2 clicks looks like it takes it over 50%, but how much further over 50%? I don't know. Maybe it's 2 clicks to completely fill the altar now? We might want to set this thing so if it's less than like 25%, we click it, right? Oh, I'm not clicking on the thing. I need to click on the gate. Less than 25%, we'll turn that light on. I think it's probably where we need to be about now. Yeah, because this puts a lot of liquid in the altar, which is cool. All right, there we go. Now that's done. Click this. Yeah, that's like, I wish I could tell how much is in there. I want to know how much we're putting in there. It's got to be like half the altar every click, so that's really awesome. Anyway, here is our Magician's Blood Orb now. So we are making some progress through blood magic. I haven't even really looked at the quest, what we needed to do. I just know that we had some things that we had to do with blood magic, so I've been trying to get them done. So how the world changes? No, that is the other witchery section. Here we go. The way the world bleeds, 1 quest with unclaimed reward. So here we go. So this one is make the apprentice blood orb. We did that. That's going to give us 10 reinforced slates. I should have looked at this. I didn't look at this at all. So it says round we go again. The weak blood orb was a good start to having LP reservoir bound to your soul, but now that you've got your altar to tier 2, it should be possible to make a better orb with deeper pockets. Similarly to the similarly, is that how you say that word? I don't know. That's a weird word to me. To the weak blood orb, the apprentice orb is created by infusing an emerald with 5,000 LP in the blood altar, though it requires the altar be at least tier 2. We've done that. Cool. I was kind of hoping that that would have unlocked this one, but I guess it wants us to do this quest first, which I think you just put the brew stand in the altar. What's the recipe on this thing? Yeah, brew stand. Oh no, that's just shape crafting. We need a certain orb in order to do this. What tier orb? A Magician's Blood Orb, and that is a tier 3. That's the one we just made, so we should be able to do that quest, right? Yeah, Magician's Blood Orb. Cool. All right, well, let's go do that quest real quick. That's just regular crafting. We need a brew stand. I know we have one. Yeah, let's just make another one. So we just need a blaze rod, and then I think it's stone or slabs or one of the two. Seems like, is it slabs? I think it's the slabs. These. No. Okay. Brewing stand. How do we make one of those? It's cobblestone. Of course it's cobblestone. There we go. Okay, so we got this done. So we should be able to make the, wait, what was the item called? This is called an alchemic chemistry set. Okay, so now we can take one of those, do one of those. It does not click the orb in there, even though this isn't bound to me, but that's fine. We can do this. And there we go. There's the alchemic chemistry set. This is going to open up some doors for us to making a bunch of different things, spawning in the demons and the elementals and all that stuff from blood magic. This is pretty cool, and you put a bound orb right here to do the crafting, but we'll be looking at this another time, I am sure. Let's go and pick this back up. We'll read the quest, actually, and see what this has to say. So it says, science, meet magic. For the most part, you found solutions to problems through either magics or science, but applying principles of blood magic with chemistry may allow you to achieve things you never even considered before. And that's going to give us 4 simple catalysts, nice, and then either greater power catalyst or a greater lengthening, probably the power catalyst. That's probably the one we want. So this still is not unlocked. So there is something else here that's going to unlock that. I'm not sure. One of these lock quests obviously will, but we're not quite there yet. Is there anything else that we have unlocked here? No, it looks like that's it. All right, guys. Well, I tell you what, we got a lot of good stuff done today. I'm kind of curious to see if this finished up over here, if it's still going. Oh, no, it's still going. How much? All right, so it did some living wood that I put in there. Now it's doing more living rock. Yeah, we've been letting this thing go for a while now, so that's pretty cool. Still got some more stone in here that I've added. So yeah, this will keep going. It'll just keep making the living rock. We won't have to worry about that ever again. Super awesome. All right, guys, you know what? That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.